reading, and we're now on lesson 20. So the story so far for Cole's kingdom. Cole was kidnapped by the twins, and he has gone to Yognar, that is the mother's name's house, and she's telling him all about Ferlin and Darius, how it was a magical land. They've got these problems, and we're starting to hear some strange things about the king. So let's see where we were up to. She nodded sadly. In a manner of speaking, hundreds of years ago, King Enk was crowned and became infatuated with owning all the magic in the land. The word infatuated is when you become obsessed with something, all you do is think about it all the time. So he became infatuated with owning all the magic in the land. He started to collect the seals. So the seals, remember everybody, are the magical artifacts. The one that Cole had at the very start of the story, in which he's given to King Enk. Wait, interrupted Cole. You said hundreds of years ago, but I saw the king today. He's not that old. Piog gave a derisive snort of laughter. Derisive is kind of when you make fun of someone. He's at least 300 years old. Cole stared at Piog. What? Yognar sighed. No one alive can remember it, but it is said that the king became power-hungry and began to collect the seals from the well of every town in the land. He forced his servants to build him a huge well in his palace, and with every new seal that he added, the magic in Alfar grew stronger, and all the magical wells around the land began to dry up. History says that the pools didn't dry up all at once. For years, we still had the seasons, and our ancestors could still grow a little for themselves. Now, though, the well is dry. We can't grow anything for ourselves, but we get rations. She glanced at the grains in the corner of the room. From the capital, poor Mika and Piog have never known it any other way. Yognar stood up wearily. Remember, the word weary means tired, so wearily is in a tired way. Began to make tea in a small clay teapot. Piog piped up. I felt rain once, he told his mother proudly. On a trip to the palace, a cloud burst right over my head. To his right, Mika scowled enviously. Now, a scowl is kind of an angry look, and enviously is when you wish that you had something. Cole's stomach had turned to lead. So this is an interesting expression. Lead is a very heavy metal. So Cole's stomach had turned to lead. This is showing you that he's got a bad feeling in his stomach. And this is about, we'll read the next sentence. He thought guiltily of the magic that had wasted on a load of cakes, which hadn't even filled him up. When here were Yognar, Piog and Mika and the rest of the Darians scraping by with tasteless beans and gritty bread. He considered the little that he had seen of the land outside the palace, remembering the dry, dusty ground, the dirt washed onto his clothes, and then the feeling of relief when he had walked into King Enk's palace. It seemed as though all the joy, life and beauty in Darius was kept there. So the seals don't belong in Alfar? He asked tentatively. So tentatively, it's kind of nervously when you're asking something you're afraid to ask. No, said Mika, perhaps a little louder than she had intended. The seal of Ferlin belongs here, in our magic well. That's the seal I found in my grandma's attic, said Cole weakly, as Yognar handed him a mug of hot water infused with leaves. How did it get there? Mika answered, they say that, when the king started to get greedy, some settlements hid their seals away so that he would never find them. So we're beginning to learn a lot about the story about the king and the history of Darius. Okay, I'm going to read you this extract. Yognar sighed. No one alive can remember it, but it is said that the king became power hungry and began to collect the seals from the well of every town in the land. He forced his servants to build him a huge well in his palace, and with every new seal that he added, the magic in Alfar grew stronger, and all the magic wells around the land began to dry up. What does the word sighed suggest about Yognar's feelings? So press pause while you answer that. Okay, so here, sighed is being used almost as said, But when you sigh, it's this sound. It's like you're breathing out. In this example, Yogna is talking about how the king has taken all the magic. So she sighs because she's sad, or she's disappointed, or she's hopeless. So it's showing that she feels sad and negative about the situation. And again, the same extract. Based on Yogna's story below, how would you describe the king's behaviour? Support your answer with evidence. So I think you need to say the king's behaviour. I think the king's behaviour was because. Press pause while you do that. Okay, welcome back. So it says here, the king became power hungry and began to collect the seals from the well of every town in the land. He forced his servants to build him a huge well in his palace, and with every new seal that he added, the magic in Elfar grew. So you could say the king is selfish because he kept all the magic for himself. The king is a bully because he forced his servants to build a well. The king is power hungry because he decided to take all of the seals and all of the magic in the land. So those are 3 examples. Here we have a different extract. Piog piped up. Now, pipe up can mean to speak. I felt rain once, he told his mother proudly. On a trip to the palace, a cloud burst right over my head. To his right, Mika scowled enviously. Which word is closest in meaning to jealously? Press pause while you think about that. So the answer is enviously. When you are envious, you are jealous. Jealously is the same as enviously. Thanks for taking part in this lesson, and I'll see you next time for lesson 20.